Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of the West Virginia Hospitality and Travel Association Hospitality Highlights. Joined today by Buddy Butler from Narrative New South Media and recently elected chairman of the WVHTA Board of Directors. Good morning, Buddy.
Good morning, Jordan. How are you?
Doing well. So we just wanted to start today's episode off, obviously some exciting news. You were recently elected as the chairman of the WVHTA Board of Directors. So how did you get involved with tourism in West Virginia and more importantly with WVHTA?
Sure. Actually, a long time ago, it's been over 20, maybe 25 years ago. I worked for the Fenton Art Glass Company here in Williamstown, West Virginia, my hometown. And we were the biggest tourist attraction in the Mid-Ohio Valley. You may be too young to remember Fenton, but we had probably, we had 250,000 people come through our plant every year. It was a handmade glass plant. We took we had 9 different tour times a day that we took people through the plant and gave them guided tours that were about an hour long. But we were, it wasn't uncommon to see, 7, 8 charter buses out in front of the plant, on a Friday afternoon. So it was kind of an amazing operation for a long time, and it lasted over 100 years. And unfortunately, the plant's no longer there. But it was in a town of 3,000 people. When I left there, we employed almost 700 people. So, it was a significant part of the fabric of Williamstown, and we were a big player in the state in terms of the tourism business. Don Fenton, who was the son of one of the owners, was appointed to the State Tourism Commission. When the commission started, he was one of the original members of the Tourism Commission. And the grant program had just come to pass and had just started. And actually, I ran the retail operation, and Don came to me and said, we really need to take advantage of this grant program. So, and he said, why don't you figure it out and let's see how we can get involved. So I reached out to several of the other tourist attractions here in the area, and we formed a partnership. Actually, it was called the Historic River Cities. And we actually had a hotel in Marietta, the Lafayette Hotel, the Blennerhassett Hotel in Parkersburg, Lee Middleton Doll in Belpre, Ohio. And we formed this kind of informal tourism marketing group and applied for a grant. We actually even got an ARC grant, and we started marketing as a group, and it was really successful. And so that's how I got involved. And then the next thing you know, I was approached about being the Mid-Ohio Valley regional rep for WVHTA. And then kind of one thing led to another, and I got more involved, and I've been involved a long time.
Yeah, you've had a quite a array of experience in tourism, whether it's been on the Tourism Commission, working for media companies such as you are now, or being involved with the WVHTA. So, you've seen a little bit of the evolution of tourism in West Virginia, and moving forward, what do you hope to accomplish, during your time here as the chair of the WVHTA or for the association?
Sure. Number one, I want to continue the good work that's been done. So I don't see any radical changes, or there's nothing that's broken that needs fixed. I think it's just continuing to do what we've been doing and then improve upon that. I think one of the things that I really hope to do is get some more folks involved. We've got a lot of really young, smart business owners and entrepreneurs that are on our board now that I think we just need to get them a little bit more involved, and we're doing that. Really thrilled to have Christian Nuzum as the vice chair from the Bavarian Inn. He and his family have become really good friends of ours, and they do great stuff for the whole state, let alone the Eastern Panhandle. So that's kind of, and I think I'm hoping to get more in line with the goals of the tourism office, the CVB Association. So we're all kind of speaking from the same, singing out of the same hymnal, for lack of a better term. But, so we're all pushing for the same things. And at least having common goals that we're working towards. So again, nothing radical. I think more is just more open communication, getting more people involved, getting everybody kind of moving in the same direction as much as we possibly can.
Sure, and this is a good transition. You spoke about getting people involved. Why should a young entrepreneur or restaurateur or a hotel manager want to be involved with the WVHTA, or why should they become members of the association?
Yeah, it's a good question. For me, again, I've been involved a long time, and so much of the business that I've done has been through people that I have met through HTA functions, other members of the board, people on committees. It's opened me up to meet a lot of different people throughout the state, and to develop relationships with other people. To me, that's been the biggest benefit. Obviously understanding a little bit more about the inner workings of the tourism industry and all that's been educational, but I think the connections that I've made and the friendships that I've made, they've come around to pay dividends for me over the last 30 years.
Yeah. And, we're a growing association and a fun association. Tourism in West Virginia has been, rocked a little bit during the pandemic, but, a lot of studies and, reports coming out that people want to be outdoors, they want to be socially distanced. And West Virginia is poised to be in a good spot, hopefully, when people feel comfortable to come back out, if they're not doing so already. So, it's an exciting time to talk tourism in West Virginia.
I totally agree. And, we do a lot of brand development and brand management work for different people. And, West Virginia's unique selling proposition is outdoor recreation. And that doesn't mean we don't promote all the other things that we have in West Virginia, but that's our hook. That's what we're known for. And that's going to pay dividends for us over the next few years. And, hopefully there's a vaccine that comes out soon and, travel picks back up. Though we're already seeing lots of travel, people coming to West Virginia because I think they view it as safe. And obviously have a lot of wide open spaces and, outdoor recreation and so forth. So I think we're going to be in a good position moving forward over the next 4 or 5 years. And I think we really need to continue to focus on that outdoor recreation brand. I think the tourism office I think the smartest thing they did was securing the rights to country roads and continuing, the value of country roads. I can't even put a dollar value on what that possibly could be if you had to try to create that brand. So continuing with those things, I think will be good for us.
Sure. Yeah. We hit on that, you're a partner at Narrative by New South Media. And so let's talk about what you do for tourism kind of in your day job.
Sure. We started Narrative just almost 2 years ago. And my background is advertising agency business. I worked for a couple agencies, but for about 25 years. Nikki Bowman, my business partner who owns New South Media, publishes West Virginia Living magazine and a host of other magazines. Obviously, a lot of our clients, we bought ads with West Virginia Living. So we've developed a friendship. And I really noticed with when I was in the agency world, that a lot of our clients struggled to create content. And, obviously 20 years ago, creating content was different than what it is today because we have so many channels that we're pushing information out. So they don't have the time. Often they don't have the expertise to create content and continue to push content out. So Nikki and I got talking. Actually, it was at a tourism summit in Jefferson County just on a break. And I commented to her, I said, my clients really struggle to create content, and we're doing more and more of that. I think just a content creation company could be successful. So obviously, Nikki's a content creator, and we talked, and the next thing you know, we started brainstorming, and we formed the idea of this company, and we've been very fortunate. For the first couple of years, we've got about 10 different clients on retainer. And then we do a lot of project work. We're actually doing 3 regional travel guides for West Virginia Tourism right now, the tourism office, that we're really excited about. So we've had the luxury of telling the story of West Virginia. One of our goals is really to change perceptions of West Virginia, and most of our clients are in West Virginia. And, you know, do that through really good storytelling, great photography, great videos, but some, you know, social media campaigns. But everything is about creating content is what we focus on, and that's our, you know, that's kind of our selling proposition.
Yeah, that's great. You know, during this time, while people are social distance and working from home and in front of their laptops and computers and phones more, what's one tip you could give to you know, a small business owner in West Virginia, you know, about getting their name out there or creating content, you know, while people are, you know, in front of their screen?
Sure. You know, I think the key is when you create something, where you put something out there, that it means something. There's so much garbage that's pushed out on a daily basis. And unfortunately, there's a lot of negativity that's pushed out right now. So I think, you know, when you do create content, that it means something to you, that it's positive, that it means something to your listeners. So when they see that you post something, that they want to take a look at it. You know, I think sometimes people are concerned about the volume of content that they push out as opposed to the quality. And I think if you focus on the quality of the content that you put out, and that your you know, fans, or, you know, your Facebook friends or whoever, when they see something you post, they actually know that there's some thought behind it, and there's something that might be interesting to them, as opposed to just trying to, you know, if you're like, well, I haven't pushed something out in the last half day or last day, I need to push something out. I don't know that I agree with that. I think when you push something out, it needs to have some meaning behind it.
Yeah, that's some great advice. Well, thanks for joining us for our 3rd episode of Hospitality Highlights, and we appreciate and are thankful for your work with the WVHTA, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up soon.
Thanks, Jordan. Good to talk to you.
See ya.